Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to take the 16-inch really big bulb from Home Depot, 2020 edition, in case it's different in years later, and be able to modify it for use with the 2811 pixels here that we already have use. First thing is I got a 3D model off of Thingiverse. I'll try to link it in the description if you need. I have my local library print these out, or you can do it yourself. I chose black, but white would also work. You'll need some pigtails. Don't forget to put this on. You will forget it later. And for this example, at least 9 pixels. I've got these cut off from some other stuff that still works. So let's get started. The first thing you have to do is unscrew the base, set the bulb aside, and then inside of here there's 3 screws. Those 3 screws will come out, and there's a wire that attaches to the trimmy, and you're going to get rid of that also. I'll show you once that's been completed. Also, don't lose these 3 little screws. They're going to go in these holes, the small holes in the 3D print here in just a minute. Using my wire sizing gauge or guide, 15/64 is the proper size hole for my pixel pigtails. So that's the one that I'll be using to make a second hole on the right side. The trimmy hole is already too big, but we're going to add some silicone when we get done, and that should make that nice and tight. But I didn't want to add any additional holes if I didn't need to. Alright, now we got 2 holes. We're going to put the pigtails through there. Alright, now we have our 2 pigtails in. On mine, this is in, this is out. I would recommend doing that the same on all of them, so that you know when the trimmy is on the left, you know that's the output. The next thing we're going to do is take the lights and put them in here, and on mine the IC is the output side, so I'm going to end up connecting that to the pigtail for the output, and I'll let you know when I have that accomplished. Alright, this is how it ended up. We've got all 9 pixels in here. This, I believe, is my exit. This, the one on the opposite side, is the entrance. I'll double check it, but just make sure you're connecting these to the right pigtails. And if you haven't already, make sure that you put your thing on here. You'll wish you did if you didn't later. So I'm going to solder these to my pigtails and get it back together. Also, the lower filament here was a little thin, so be careful when you put them in there. If you need some hot glue around the pixel, I think would hold it in place nicely, and I may even do that myself just to kind of help hold these in. Once they're in, they're not going anywhere, but just be careful when you're pushing. It was a little thin on mine, and it did crack a little bit. Maybe you can see a couple of those little places where it's popped through a little more than I wanted it to, but I think that's going to work, and I'll let you know when that's done. Alright, I don't know if you caught it or not, but I made a mistake. I put the bulbs in through this side where they came out on this side, instead of through this side where they come out on this side where the bulb can screw in. So I've had to fix that. Because I had to fix that, I had to definitely use some hot glue on the bulbs just to make sure they stayed in place. It's a little messy, but nobody's going to see it. As long as they stay in place, they should be fine. Everything's connected. I used the red solder sleeves on my stuff on this kind of work. If you use the Scotch locks, those are fine too. I just prefer these for this kind of work, and the Scotch locks for stuff I repair. So we'll put it all together now. Alright, so now we've got these in place. I put the screws back in, And the only thing left to do now is to test it, and put some silicone on these connectors. So let's get that back together. We'll do some tests, and then I'll add some silicone. Alright, so now we're going to press the test button. And I think that looks pretty good. Hopefully this helps. If you need anything, just let me know.